Hey guys, welcome back to our podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Firstly, I want to sincerely apologize for my mic capping out multiple times throughout the last episode.
We've gotten better.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We had a glow up over the last week.
Podcast glow up. Exactly. We're just more improved now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
today we're going to be talking about what it's like being brown, especially today. So if you're not brown, just exit.
No, it's okay.
Go away.
It's a new perspective. Okay, but first we have to introduce ourselves.
Oh yeah, so I'm Noel.
And I'm Soha. And so yeah, before we begin, don't forget to follow our Instagram, subscribe to YouTube,
like the video, leave a comment, all of that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. It means a lot. It means so much.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
we're gonna talk about, I think first, being the oldest daughter, because we both have that in common.
Mm-hmm.
So it does feel a lot like being a third parent sometimes.
Yeah, my brother, I have a brother that's 11, and I feel like my parents are a little bit less strict with him.
Yeah.
He has a PS5, he has his own PC, and it's this big. It's so huge.
At 11, that's
2
crazy.
monitors, then he has a Nintendo, and he has a phone now. It's my old phone, but still.
You got yours,
I got my phone
right before
in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And he has all these things, and he'll still be complaining sometimes. I'm like, bro, I didn't have any of that.
Yeah. Be thankful.
I just had, an iPad when I was, 10.
I had a Kindle.
I just used that till I got my phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it is very different. And then also, I have 3 sisters. They're triplets. And I think this is more so when I was younger, when I had, when I was less busy. But, I would, have to, not, the parenting part of it, there was,
responsibilities.
Yeah. Because they were young and I was young. But a lot of, the entertaining all 3 of them kind of fell from, because, for me, I would imagine that my parents would have to entertain me, right? There was nobody else. So I'm sure I wasn't just, sad all the time, right?
Yeah.
But for me, that was, I would have to do that for them. And then also, I think I, aged, mentally slowly, I think, actually, because of that. Weirdly. Because I was, things that I watched and things that I did were all, related back to my sisters. Any TV that I watched was the same TV I had been watching since I was 5 years old.
Oh my god!
My sisters were watching those shows.
I remember that because my mom, she was strict about TV, and she wouldn't let me watch a lot of the shows that other people were watching.
Yeah.
So I would just be watching what Fazan watches.
Mm-hmm.
And he would watch PBS Kids and whatever kiddie shows were on Netflix, and that's just what I would watch, because I wouldn't really be, because anytime I would sit in front of the TV, he would be there too.
He would be,
so
exactly.
I could watch whatever I wanted to watch.
I remember for me, when I started first watching things on my own, it was Greenhouse Academy on Netflix. That was the first big kid show I ever watched. And I remember the way our stairs work is you can see our upstairs TV, and my sisters would be lined up on the stairs
just
watching. And I would have to pause it and be like, you guys have to go. I can't continue watching this around you guys. Mm-hmm. And then my mom would get mad at me, and then we would all sit down and watch Sophia the First.
Bro.
So, yeah.
Also, there's a lot of having to take care of them. I had to definitely take care of my brother. My parents both work from home, so a lot of the time I would be I have to make his food and get him up and make sure he showers and does this and that.
Yeah.
Especially because he won't eat by himself. Unless you give him something, he doesn't eat. So I have to and he can't make his own food. He can't freaking get it out of the fridge and warm it up himself. So I have to do that for him. And then cleaning up after him. Oh my god. Okay. I hate when the living room is messy. It's messy right now too, but when I was younger, I had an insane obsession with keeping it clean. And my brother had a lot of toys, right?
Yeah.
A lot of toys. So they would be all in the living room all the time. All over the floor.
So much stuff.
so many things, and I would just be so pissed. So I would have to clean it up all the time because it would just piss me off how messy it was.
Yeah.
And then he would just mess it up again, and I'd be like, "What the hell?"
So I'm like lucky in that sense. I think I'm a messy person too. So that like never bothered me. I think another thing with that is like my sisters have like gotten like really independent, which is like good for them. They like will make their own breakfast because they like wake up, like one of my sisters, she like wakes up really early, right? So she will put her own waffle in the toaster and like make her own breakfast and like warm up her milk and everything, and she'll have breakfast by the time I'm downstairs. I think like the only thing is like I will make lunch for them like if nobody's around.
Yeah.
And like we always like make a big deal of it, even though like I kind of do it more often, like during breaks and stuff. We just like make a big deal about it. We like get snacks out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like helping. I think for me it's because there are 3 of them, so you can't really like my parents can't really not focus on them, you know, because there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like they do have like the attention and stuff where I don't always need to be the third parent. I think until recently, like I wasn't really all that involved. Like when I was younger, I was, and then I like stopped in the middle. But now I try more to like, you know, hang out with them and stuff. But they definitely like don't like need other people. I think is what it is.
Because there's like 3 of them.
There's 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is different from your situation, but I do know what you mean. Like when I was younger, it was a lot of that. But yeah.
I wonder if like guys, like the oldest guys, like have like the same experiences.
Yeah, I don't know, cause
I've always wondered about like, cause we're oldest daughters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like expected to kind of do everything. But I wonder about like the guys who are the oldest.
Cause I would like to think that like the motherly part of it isn't like a factor right now, but it probably is. Cause I know like one of my friends, she has an older brother, and like their age difference is the same as mine, but he is like older than me. Like she's like my age, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but when they were younger, there wasn't a whole lot of that. Like she's a very independent, like she is like the oldest sibling because they have a younger sibling too.
Oh, okay.
So she acts like the older sibling, and I don't know if that's because he's a guy or because he's older, but I have known them my whole life. So yeah, that's definitely a thing. And then like setting standards, I think, is another big thing.
Yeah.
So I think like for me, like the standards that I set aren't very high, so I think they're like accomplishable. I think if anything, I've lowered my parents' standards, which isn't like I don't think it's like a bad thing, because I think they were also raised on like extreme standards.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do know somebody though who's like her older sister is like has done incredibly well in school. Like she's a great student, and she like
that's probably a lot of
was
pressure,
really successful with like everything. Her. Yeah, and she's like, it's not like she's dumb, right? But it's like she's like normal, like you know. So she's saying like it is hard, to like have to follow that.
Yeah, I think since I'm like, you know, kind of struggling in school sometimes, my parents are being hard on both of us because they don't want like my brother to like be a failure and everything. But on top of that, like I also want him to do really well because he wants to go to MIT, and I'm like, you really need to put in the work if you want to do that. So I feel like I push him more than my parents.
I feel like I begin to think about right now, like my sisters are so young that that's not like something that we're like thinking about. But I do think about that sometimes where like if I see like my sisters doing something that I probably would have done when I was younger that didn't like end so well with me, it's like don't distract yourself like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like there are other things for you to do.
Exactly.
Stuff like that. And it's like, I think the way my parents think about it is like, don't do any of that because, or like do better, you know?
Yeah.
But the way I'm looking at it is like, just don't like make the same mistakes I did. Cause like, you know, we were all like growing and stuff, right? Learning and growing and stuff. So it's like, we all like made mistakes, but if you can like see that and like prevent it, then I try, you know?
Also, another thing I just remembered about being the third parent, my parents didn't even check my brother's grades, so they didn't even know that he was like failing in some parts and that he had a ton of missing assignments. I randomly just logged into Skyward one day and saw his grades, and I was like, you need to like fix this. And I had to send that to my parents and everything, and then, you know, they got him into like mathnasium and stuff. But they wouldn't have known that if they never checked.
Never checked, yeah.
So if it wasn't for me, like, they wouldn't have known. He would just, like, have had, like, all these mistakes. Which is really weird because the teachers didn't say anything. That kind of pissed me off.
I feel like that's, like, teachers should say something, especially, like, at the age he's in. It's not like he's, like, a senior or something where it's, like, not, like, his, like, the teacher's responsibilities or anything.
Yeah, he's not, like, you know, like, 6th graders aren't like us where we regularly check our grades and everything and the responsibilities on us.
Yeah, and I mean, if you fail an assignment, normally a teacher will be like, you gotta get this in.
Yeah.
Or it's a 0. And you, like, get that reminder and stuff. That's weird. I think in elementary school, my teachers were always, like, on top of stuff.
Yeah, like, I thought you're supposed to, like, email the parents. There was no emails.
That's weird. Speaking of academic, like, school and academic pressure and stuff, that exists also. I don't know if it's as, like, the older kid or just as, like, a brown person.
Yeah,
I think those standards are higher anyways.
One, because we talked about this in our last episode, how everyone around us is, like, really smart. So there's that pressure, you know?
Yeah.
And then also just keeping the standard for our siblings.
Yeah, stuff like, we, like, touched on that.
Yeah.
But it is, like, when I was younger, I feel like the standard was higher. I remember when I was younger, it was like I was, like, a really good student and stuff, so I held myself to a higher standard. And I get kind of sad now when I, like, get, like, an 80-something and I'm, like, really happy about it.
Yeah.
And I get kind of sad because it's, like, younger me would be, like, crying about this. But it's, like, normal now. So, yeah.
I've always, like, held myself to a high standard, even if I don't. Like, yeah, I get really, like, upset when I don't do so good.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, just, like, struggled in school, like, my whole life, like, especially in math. I remember the first time I failed, like, a math test was, like, in 2nd grade.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy because it was just 2nd grade.
God, that happened to one of my sisters, and she was, like, really upset
I was really upset about it, yeah. I got, like, help for it. Like, I started getting, like, tutoring in, like, 3rd grade. I don't know.
Yeah. So, I guess, like, bouncing on that, like, we're, like, the first children, so another thing would be, like, we're kind of the guinea pigs, because, like, our parents are immigrants.
Our parents, like my parents are both from Pakistan. Like, I mean, hers are too, but my dad kind of knows stuff because he went to Canada for college, so he knows how, like, SAT and everything works.
My dad was here for college.
Yeah, but my mom did, like, she studied, like, in Pakistan, and then she came after for work. So my dad knows how the SAT and stuff works, but yeah, like,
it was high school was a lot. I remember when we were, like, learning about it, my dad was, like, going to, like, all the little parent seminar things that they had. It is really, like, complicated, and I think it's, like, like, for us, something that's really annoying, when we went from, like, middle school to high school and we were scheduling, like, our first like, 9th grade classes, they really put a lot of emphasis on, like, AP classes and no emphasis on dual credit classes. I remember I just, like, heard the term and I had a question, like, nobody was answering it, no one was talking about it, I had no clue what they were, right? And neither did my parents. So naturally, we, like, kind of just pretended they didn't exist or something and just went with the AP route because that's what everyone was saying. And now, like, looking back and, like, hearing from other people, I do regret that. Like, I do wish I had taken dual credit classes and stuff because I don't have any this year, like, this upcoming year either.
Me neither.
And so it's, like, we just weren't fully educated on that, and our parents didn't have that either. And, like, even the people that we talked to, like, the older kids that I knew, were also going through the same thing. Was like most of them had taken a lot of APs because that's what they were told, and like their parents are also immigrants, so it's like confusing. It's hard.
Also, like we have to do like college apps like in the next year, right? So you know, my parents don't like know how that works, like especially my mom, because like she didn't know that you had to write like a whole essay. And because I remember we went to KD like a month ago before I started doing the SAT prep with them, and the lady was like explaining everything and like the application process, and then she came to the topic of like the essay, and then when we're leaving, my mom was like, "What's the essay she's talking about?" I'm like, "Yeah, you have to like write an essay to submit to college." And she was like, "About what?" And I'm like, "Just about anything." Like she didn't even know that was a thing.
It's weird. Yeah.
She didn't know that was a thing at all.
And, like, the whole system is very complicated if you look at it from, like, an outsider's perspective. Like, it is weird. Like, even just, like, something as minute as, like, A-B schedules. Like, even that was, like, I had to explain like, okay, so because our schedule is also really weird. I think like we have like first and eighth every day, and it's like really. So I had to like explain all that, and like I have friends that are doing college apps and stuff right now, and they're like fully having to do so much research on their own. They don't have like that previous knowledge or anything about it.
Cause like if like your parents are white, like, and they grew up here, like they know how it works. Cause you know, they went to high school here. They probably went to like a college.
And things like this like don't change that much. Like the way it like affects you might change, but like the whole system and stuff has been here for a while. So yeah, college essays and stuff were very like bizarre to my mom.
Yeah.
It's like why like about what was like the question.
And then like interviews too, like you have to give an interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. Like I do see like in my like aunts and uncles, like my younger ones that have been here for like longer, like one of them like went to Harvard and stuff, like she would like know, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like she like understands the college like process.
That's like if they've like been here, because like I have friends whose moms like grew up here, so they know how like everything works. They know how high school works and all that.
Yeah. So it's like a learning curve for both of us.
Yeah.
I think my parents are learning as I go, and then hopefully it'll be like much better when my sisters go through and they like know what they want to do. So yeah, that's like part of I think like the generational
like gaps
but
and
also
stuff.
like cultural. It's different here. I think our parents have been forced to like change a lot of their ways, and I don't think like we give them enough credit because we always like want more and more.
Yeah.
Like when we look around, it's like people's parents are less strict, but it's like our parents have actually changed a lot, like their mindsets and stuff. Like coming from Pakistan to here or wherever they're from, the culture is very different. You know?
Yeah, definitely. Like my mom went to an all-girls school.
Yeah.
My mom and her sisters, they went to an all-girls school. They had to like wear uniforms and stuff. Like that's just like tiny things, but it was like very different.
And it feels tiny, like the all-girls school. Like, you know, if it is like bizarre. I feel like making like friends with like guys and stuff at school. It's like she never had that, so it's not that like our parents are just like against everything. It's like they didn't really have like that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah, because there wasn't like you know, in her school there wasn't like guys to like communicate with. Here it's not like I can control it. They're just everywhere. Like I have to talk to them.
Exactly. Yeah.
And my dad went to like he had to go to a boarding school for like a few years when he was younger, because that was like the only good school that was around. Like in his area there were no like good schools, so they just had to send him to a boarding school. So you know, that's also like really different.
Yeah. Like you mentioned like uniforms, like stuff like that is like, it seems very simple, but I remember when I was younger I would like wear like, you know, like normal clothes to school, and like my mom would be like, is that even like a t-shirt?
Yeah, is that even like something you can wear?
And now I like dress even like worse, I would say, like sweatpants and stuff like that. And my parents are, I was talking to my dad about this because we found like we were at Hollister, there were like pants that look like pajama pants.
Oh, my parents are like they can't comprehend that people go out in their
My dad can't either. I was telling him, I was like, look at these, and he was like, why are they selling that? I was like, it's because all the guys and like everyone like wear them out. Like I can imagine like if you're at a grocery store, you could probably see like like at school. And even my dad was just like completely confused.
My parents are
like, what do you mean they're wearing their pajamas to school? It's like a lot of little things. The way we talk about our teachers is like, if I ever complain, my parents are like, well, like we couldn't do that. You know?
No, my parents are like, they're still teachers. Like they're teaching you. And I'm like,
are they teaching me? Are they teaching me though? Yeah. So it's like a lot of little stuff, but I think like it's funny to like, it's not funny. It's like to watch them like when they get confused about things that are so normal to us, and then they have to like open themselves up to that.
Yeah.
And then it's like like for me, I was never allowed to like go to sleepovers and stuff, which was frustrating because like everyone else was. Yeah. But it's like the fact that I could go to the birthday party before the sleepover was also a lot for my parents, because they weren't like doing sleepovers and stuff.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I mean, obviously now we're older, so it's like a lot easier.
Yeah.
To do some things, but definitely when we were younger. Like I know, like getting our phones, like a lot of people had it before me, right? And like I wanted one so bad, and I remember they would tell me like, oh, I got my first phone in like college, and like it's different now though. Like I can't do that.
When I was younger, my parents would always be like, even my aunt like chimed in, like my cool aunt. She was like, well, I got my first phone when I was 21.
They all said that.
Phones weren't even around before that. So
exactly.
Obviously you got your phone when you were 21 because like you couldn't before that. It wasn't like a normal thing. And also you're like in like Pakistan or whatever.
Right.
Like it's like even less. It's like little things like that. Whatever. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the brown guys.
Yeah.
And how they have it so easy.
Yeah, okay. I don't know.
Okay, maybe not like so easy,
we
but
don't
definitely
make claims like that because we're not brown guys. We don't know. But it does seem easier, like when we want to hang out and stuff like that. It does seem like they're less strict with guys.
Yeah.
There are like less questions asked if you like want to go hang out and stuff. And I'm not just saying that from assumptions. Like I do know from friends and stuff.
I know guys who are like this summer, especially they're hanging out like all the time, all day, every day.
And it's like it takes so long for us to like make one plan.
Yeah.
Like this is why we're doing this, to hang out basically.
No, but because me, Soha, and Nora hung out. We went to a coffee shop this weekend. It literally took so long to make that.
Like all three of us for the first time all summer, which is like, so sad.
Okay, because Nora had like work.
Yeah.
And then you were gone as soon as school started. Then I left.
Yeah. But we had to so much planning. The plan changed like 20 times.
Yeah.
And it was like, at one point it was like, this isn't even happening. And then it like completely turned around. We were like, it is happening.
But you know why it wasn't gonna happen? Because the first place we wanted to go, my parents were like, no.
Yeah.
If I was a guy, they probably would have said yes, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it is something I noticed. We're not just saying that. We're not just
saying it because
we're like sad or salty.
But it actually happens. I know there's brown girls that have it easy. Like a lot of the girls at our school, like they get to hang out with their friends all the time.
Yeah.
And it's easier for them, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Why is it so hard for us?
Yeah, I don't know. Our parents are like I don't know. I guess our parents are stricter.
Is it because we're like also like Muslim? Like I don't know.
I don't know. Actually, that could be. Right? But I would say like Nora's parents are like less strict. I don't know.
I guess.
Her parents are just like that. It's fine. We're not like complaining. I guess we like do.
Because my parents definitely have gotten less strict about it. Like it's easier now. It didn't used to be that easy. It used to be really difficult. But yeah. I feel like the guys have it a little bit. I know there's still like a limit for them. Like, oh, like you've hung out too much, you can't hang out now. I know that happens to them. Yeah. But they still get to hang out more.
Their limit is just like bigger than ours. Ours is like, oh, like you had fun last week. Why are you trying to have fun again?
Exactly. Like this podcast thing we're doing, like they're getting a little like pissed about it because we're seeing each other so much.
Yeah, my mom was like, "You just did this last week." I was like, "This is gonna be a recurring thing. I'm gonna need you to get used to this."
No, because I told my mom yesterday, I was like, "Soha's coming over." She's like, "Okay, I can't really do anything about it." She just gave up. Like she accepted it.
Oh, I know. When I like came back from like your house last time, and then we're like on our way back, and I was like, okay, so like it didn't work out, so we're gonna have to like record again. My mom was like,
take 2 again.
Like, what do you mean? I'm not gonna record all the episodes in one sitting.
Right.
So yeah, she's like, what were you guys doing for so long then? And I was like,
fixing
so we're actually
the mics and stuff. Right. Okay, so my brother, he's a guy, obviously.
Right, that is a thing, yeah.
But so when I was younger, I wasn't allowed to bike to Cheatham. And Cheatham literally takes 3 minutes to bike down to. I was only allowed to bike in front of, like, the house. Mm-hmm. This kid, I come home one day from school. I'm like, where's Fizan? My dad's like, oh, he's playing with his friends. I'm like, what do you mean he's playing with his friends? Crazy. It's a school day. And then he's like, oh yeah, you know the little roundabout in front of Cheatham? Like, he's playing there with his friends. And he was like, I just dropped him off there and then he'll like come back home by himself. I was like, what? What do you mean come back home by himself?
No, like, what do you mean?
You just left him there, no questions asked. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
No questions
would be
asked.
like, who's gonna be there? Why do you have? I remember when it like the snowpocalypse thing that happened. You and like a couple other girls were like walking around Cheatham in the snow, and I live literally my house is behind Cheatham. I'm not trying to dox myself. My house is right behind Cheatham, right? Like, we, like, share fences. So it's, like, I could literally leap the fence. Like, why am I not allowed to go? And they were, like, walking around and texted me and was like, oh, you should come.
But,
And I couldn't. Because my mom was like, who's going to be there? Why are you guys just walking around alone? I was like, you could literally watch me out your window if you wanted to.
Yeah, okay, but when that happened, my mom was, like, very paranoid the whole time.
Yeah.
It was really hard for me to just leave the house and walk around when, like, no one was outside. I wasn't going to get kidnapped.
Right. There's no kidnapping.
This kid is playing with his friends in front of the school where there's like so many cars passing by.
Oh my gosh, recently, the pool party. My sisters went to, I was never allowed to go to a pool party because like.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know, like I wasn't invited to that many either, but like there were like a few and then I wasn't allowed to go. My sisters were at a pool party the other day that started at like 7:30.
My brother was at the same one.
Yeah.
And it was in this big water
and
park.
There were guys? I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's wild. It's like I could never.
We went
to pick them up. It was like 9:45. Yeah.
That's like dark. That's almost 10 o'clock.
Yeah. It was dark.
I can't even say that.
They were like waiting for parents, like laughing and talking and stuff at 9:40. I'm like, you're little. Come home right now. This is past your bedtime. What are you doing out? And it's like I could never ever imagine like doing that.
So like the oldest daughter lore, like all the anger that like it just like feeds up.
But I think
that doesn't make sense. Why did I say feeds?
It also kind of works the opposite way. Like you would think that like for a lot of people it's like the younger sibling like gets phone like earlier and stuff like that. I think my dad is like thinking about getting my sister's phones like later.
Really? My parents. Okay, well,
I mean he's talking about it, but they're getting like watches.
Like the Apple Watches?
Kind of, yeah. So it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I just had a digital watch, but whatever. Fitbit, oh my gosh, that was like my thing. Was like, oh, I really want a Fitbit. That was like the coolest thing. Now they're getting like fancy phone watch things. I'm like, okay.
I think my parents say that like they're gonna be as strict as they are with my brother. They're not gonna let him hang out, but I know that's
it's just
not
naturally true. It's like even if you wanted to be more strict, it's just not possible because you know that now that you've done that with us, you know like, oh, if I'm like this strict about this one thing, it's not gonna make a difference. So why should they put in the same effort?
Yeah.
So it's annoying though to like see my sisters like that.
My brother got in trouble for something that was also something that I had got in trouble at like his age, and my mom was so pissed about it at like when I did that, when I got in trouble for that.
Yeah.
And it happened to him, and like I got the silent treatment for like I'm gonna say like a week maybe longer. This kid just got his laptop taken away and that was it. And she was still like talking to him and being chill. But it was something that like I did too. But when I did it, it was such a big deal. It was so bad. Like,
it is so weird that happens. Like,
and I was shocked. I was like, she's still talking to him normally. All he just didn't get was like maybe like TV and that was it for 2 days, and then he was back on the TV.
TV thing is crazy. I would get like banned from TV all the time, and I noticed my sisters get banned for TV. It's like, oh, like you can't watch TV for a week, and like the next day they're watching TV. They watch TV all the time. Their brains are rotting.
Yeah.
And it's like they can't like enforce anything anymore. I think it's because maybe it's like when they tried to enforce it with me, I like found ways around it, I guess. Because, you know, you're supposed to, like, what are you going to do? Like, take the punishment? No. So I found ways around it. So maybe they've just, like, given up on enforcing punishments. But it's like, you can't do that. It's not fair. Like, around me.
Yeah, like, you can't do that to me.
Yeah. I remember one time when I was younger, we were, like, all getting in trouble for one thing. And I was, like, sitting in my room. I was sulking. You know, as you do after your parents scream at you. And I, like, come out of my room, and I'm, like, peering downstairs, making sure I don't get seen. And my mom is, like, apologizing to my sisters and hugging them. And I was, like,
I've never gotten an apology before.
Right. I was like,
maybe once, but that was it.
Yeah. I like get apologies now, but it's like at that moment I was like, what's going on? And then I like went back to my room and sat there waiting for my mom because I was like, oh, she's coming.
That's crazy.
That didn't happen.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about being the oldest. I've kind of been yapping about that for like 40 minutes. But something that I've noticed especially is when it like there's competition between brown girls.
A lot.
Like
it's
being
like
friends with brown girls, like there's a lot of competition for no reason.
And it's like I think a lot of guys are under the impression that all girls are like that. I don't think so. Cause I know like guys that I know have been like, oh, like girls just take everything way too seriously, like as if they're competitors. It's like I haven't seen that with other friends. I think it's like just some like brown people. It is like this like deeply rooted competition.
I think it's some generational stuff too, because that happens between like the aunties and stuff. Like they're always beefing
over what? Like you're old.
Exactly. Like, it's like usually over really dumb stuff too. So I guess that just gets passed down to like these girls too.
It's the what will people say mentality.
Log kya kahenge.
Log kya kahenge. It's that mentality. It's like one of my, I know somebody who's like, you've probably seen this, but like that one girl that like puts down other people to like look good in front of her parents. I like definitely know people like that. Yeah. And it's like, why are you like that?
So you're like best friends too?
Yeah. It's like, oh, you're mad at me about this? Well, at least I'm not doing this. And then they like cite me. And it's like, why? What did I ever do? I'm not involved. Like, exactly. If you can't handle your reparations for the things you're doing, then don't do that.
Also, I feel like it's just sometimes people are just jealous.
Yeah.
You know, jealousy,
there's a lot of
jealousy.
Stuff like that.
Jealousy is a disease.
Nazar.
Okay. Evil eye.
This is the thing that aunties do.
Yeah.
I guess people, no, it's mostly aunties though. It's a lot of like, oh, you look so much skinnier than before. But yeah, there are people that like make it so dramatic, or they're like I've had acne problems, and it's like when it started clearing up, it's like you can compliment. I'm not saying don't, like, if you want to compliment, don't not. Yeah. But it's like the backhanded compliments where it's like, wow, your skin used to be so bad. And now it's okay. And it's like, well, thank you so much.
No, because
I was hideous before. It's all stuff like that.
No, because this is one auntie that told me, she doesn't live here, she lives somewhere else, but we went to their house and she told me, like, oh, like, because I've been skinny my whole life, right? She was like, oh, like, have you not been eating? Like, does your mom not feed you? In front of my mom!
People are so weird. I really don't understand. It's like the social unawareness that all aunties have. Like,
it's just a brown thing. No, it's just a brown. It's just a brown thing.
How can you say that to a child?
Right.
No.
In front of their parents. Like,
I literally don't understand.
It's a brown thing, and then that just gets passed down to like these brown kids.
I remember like kind of quarantine era, I lost a lot of weight. And then like slowly I started getting it back, right? Because I was like eating better and stuff. And this one auntie that's like, she's like a close family friend, right? So it was like somebody that I was seeing even though we're kind of quarantined. But she like saw me afterwards and she was like, you look so healthy now. Okay. She like stood back and assessed me and was like, you look so healthy now. And I was like, oh, so I'm fat. Like,
okay, let's break this down. If an auntie calls you modern, she's basically calling you like, how do we
bad things,
like bad.
Like she's basically saying like you have no respect or shame. Because it's like, oh, like you're so like
a bop.
Modern.
Basically a bop. I was trying to find the clean word for it.
Yeah.
A bop. And if they call you healthy,
you're fat.
You're fat.
If they skinny, they just like don't even ever
they just
care about it.
Patli. What else?
Dobly.
I'm trying to think of like toothpick. I've been called a toothpick before.
Grown people.
Grown people.
What?
This wasn't even an auntie, this was an uncle. I come downstairs, okay, from my room, because this uncle is my dad's friend, like childhood friend, coming from Pakistan.
What?
Come downstairs, he looks at me, he's like, oh my god, you're like a twig.
Wait, that's actually kind of crazy. The audacity! How can you say that to someone?
To a child! I was like 10 years old!
What?
I hate him since that day. Since that day, I hate him.
Have beef with
I have beef with this uncle. I literally tell Baba, I'm like, I don't like him. I don't like your friend.
Wait, that's actually crazy. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Wow. That's wild. Yeah, it's like so much stuff. I've had uncles comment about my skin.
Why?
Why are you talking about me?
Reason?
Like, go away.
Go talk about politics. Like, what?
Go talk about cars and stuff. Like, I don't. It's like I have had that. Like, multiple uncles come up to me and be like, "Wow, your skin is so much better. Like, tell me your secrets and stuff." I'm like, "What do you mean? I'm just because I'm a teenager. Like, the acne came, the acne went. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. There were no secrets, and I'm not sharing them with you." It is like I think brown people are like.
They don't have like
they're like the rulers of like backhanded compliments.
Yeah,
like,
they don't have any like what's the word for it?
They lack social awareness.
They just don't care. They'll just say anything. They don't care.
It's like the same thing if we're like at a grocery store. The cashier is like, "Hi, how was your day? Oh, can you check this out?" It's like just say hi. Just say hi. Like how is that so difficult for you to be a decent human being to a stranger? It's like the hurt on their face. Like,
no, it's like
so much.
Oh my god.
It's like forget my parents. Like my grandma. Like my grandma. If we're like out somewhere, because like whenever she goes to the outlet mall to like shop for like her grandchildren or whatever, I have to come with her. Right?
Oh my god, my grandma does that too,
right? So I have to come with her. She's like at like what's it called? Whatever, children's place. And the cashier's like, "Oh, like, is it gonna be all?" And she's like, "I'm paying with card." I'm like, just say like yes, like acknowledge her as a human being, please.
No, and then like if they do something, if like the cashier's like I don't know, being annoying or rude, like
it's like the
and then they leave and they start talking like crap about them in like Urdu.
Yeah, or like right there too.
I do that too though, because it's just I don't know.
No, I think it's brown DNA. Like it's spreading. Like,
it's spreading.
Because I remember when we went to like Pakistan, there were like a lot of annoying people. Like not okay. That's just like there are annoying people everywhere, right? Like people are gonna annoy you.
No way.
And I couldn't talk bad about them because everyone knows Urdu. No, I was better off like talking bad about them in English and using like SAT vocab or something like.
But people in Pakistan like do it to their faces.
Yeah.
It's just like everyone's just mean.
Dude, the aunties are actually like really mean. Like if you're like getting like clothes or anything, it's like oh, are you sure that's your size? Like I think I know my size. Thank you. Like oh my gosh, that one lady. Yeah. She wasn't brown though, so we can't talk about that. But it's a lot of backhanded compliments. Just like oh, you're so like you were so ugly before, but you look okay now. It's like, okay, like, I don't know, what do you want me to do with that information that you feel that way?
Like, what if we just say these backhanded compliments back to them?
Yeah.
They're gonna get mad, though, so.
Yeah.
Because I see so many videos of, like, people, like, oh, if an auntie says this to you, you should say this.
I know, it's like, oh, but I'm not trying to get beat up. Like, yeah. It's, like, weird. And even between themselves, the aunties, it's like kind of funny to watch like a group of aunties interact, because it looks like they all hate each other, even though they like don't. Like the people I know, like they've been friends forever.
Yeah.
So I know they don't all hate each other, but if someone does something to piss them off, the passive aggressiveness, like coming off of like you can like feel it in the air. Yeah. There's tension. They're about to like kill her with words. Kill them with kindness. Kill them with kindness. That's what it is, but it's not real kindness. Watch out, it's not real.
Yeah, but the aunties like in my friend group, they're all chill. They're all nice. I mean,
it's usually like other aunties, like people that you don't know super well, that are like feeling the need to comment on you. And it's like,
they've never commented on me. They just say that I'm like really tall, and that's like it.
Yeah.
But I don't get mean comments from any of them. Yeah. They're all pretty nice.
Yeah, it's like it's mostly the people that you don't know. Like there are like aunties that you know you see sometimes, Yeah. It's like usually that.
Like that one uncle from Pakistan.
Yeah.
That, like, never see.
What the heck? That's actually crazy. I'm still thinking about that. Like calling a 10-year-old a twig is like disrespectful. That's bullying.
It was like in Urdu too. I can't translate it right now.
Yeah.
I don't know the word for like twig. What is the word for twig?
I don't know. Nobody taught me that. Like lakdi, like I don't. That's just
lakdi.
Wood. That's just
no.
Wood.
It wasn't that. It was I don't know, something else.
Yeah. I got a lot of my baby fat like off my face. Like took a minute, took like a hot minute. Like I wasn't much of a baby anymore. Mm-hmm. But I got a lot of comments on that.
Really?
It's like, oh, you're so like
cute,
cute,
so cute.
And it's like, shut up. I'm not cute. It's like annoying. It's like, why are you acting like I'm a toddler? Yeah. But
thanks for clicking on the video.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to our absolute yap fest.
Bro,
episode 1.
Insane yap fest that we had today.
This was actually a lot. Thanks for, if you're still at the end, then thank you for staying. Yeah. This is our second episode. Thank you for the support on our first one.
Yeah, we got like a lot of views on that.
So thank you. And hopefully you liked it enough to continue. Because I'm gonna be really sad.
Okay, buddy.
Okay.
Make sure to follow Instagram, follow our Spotify, subscribe to YouTube, like and comment, all that fun stuff.
Let us know if you can like relate to anything in the comments. Like I feel like, you know, if you can relate to anything, any stories, any brown girl lore of your own, we would love to hear. Or if you're a brown guy and you have opinions on what we said about you guys, then
just don't like be mean about it.
Yeah, be nice. Constructive criticism.
Constructive.
Yeah. Okay. But, you know, share that.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys.
Bye guys.
Bye.